This video is unlike anything I have done before. Recently, I have been collecting more and more CDs. My reasoning for it is because, well, I collect movies, which hopefully I can get to in the future of this channel. But since we are focused on music, I thought, why not just show off my beautiful CDs? So let's start. We're going to start with Diverse City, one of my childhood albums. I grew up listening to a lot of the songs on this thing, like Catch a Fire, Diverse City, Gone, all songs that were big in my childhood. Now, later in life, I said this is the defining Toby Mac album and probably his best album, but as a kid, I didn't think this was his best album, but it really is. I recently got this one, because although I've always loved this album, I didn't have access to it besides on like YouTube or whatever. The album art is pretty nice, but I am very happy to own this CD. I have a rule when I buy albums. It has to be a ratio of like, I have to be able to listen to 75% of the tracks without skipping. I've become a little more lenient on that rule now that I'm older. But because, the digital streaming age has made everybody kind of so spoiled, you listen to what you want from this album and you don't have to listen to the rest. For me, growing up, it was CDs, and my radio player did not work. So if I wanted to listen to a CD, it had to be, I liked every single track. It wouldn't pause, it wouldn't play, it wouldn't skip. It would just it worked enough, if I put the CD in, it played. But other than that, it did nothing else. So basically, how it went down was if I bought a CD or if I got a CD, I had to like it from start to finish because that's what I would be listening to all the time. The second Toby Mac is Portable Sounds. Very important time in my life this album came out. How old was I? I was 6 years old. A lot of these songs made it immediately to Christian radio, which is why I know them so well. Made to Love, Lose My Soul, which was that song made it everywhere. But as I got older and I got, more into Toby Mac's music, other songs started really, I found myself going, wow, this is actually good stuff. Like, Suddenly, All In, Face of the Earth, they all have amazing melodies. They're pretty good tracks. And then obviously the other, childhood songs, One World, Boomin', No Ordinary Love, Feeling So Fly. It's just, classic Toby Mac. And we get to this one. Most of these Toby Mac albums, I can associate them with the time in my life because these albums, they were all on the radio at some point. Toby Mac's like, I don't know, the Justin Bieber of radio, When Justin Bieber drops an album, you expect quite a few of the songs to make it on radio. Toby Mac is that for the Christian world. When he drops an album, you expect like at least 3 singles to make it on the radio. And for all of his earlier albums, it was no exception. Tonight Played, Get Back Up, Hold On. Seem to have crossed out Showstopper, and that's really because I don't like that track. When Toby Mac just did full-on, like, rage rock, I didn't like it. Hey Devil is an amazing track. I did not like that song when I was little, but I love it now. The Green Album. And you know what? I wanted, when I started getting back into... There's some of the lyrics right there. When I started getting into, buying CDs again, thoughts came to my mind. I said to myself, I want to get a record player and start getting vinyls, But then at the same time, I thought, I already own a lot of CDs, and it'd be too expensive to do that. I'd have to buy the record player. Then, each vinyl is $20 to $30. I don't even know if they have the albums I want in vinyl form. Because maybe they have mainstream albums in vinyl form, but Christian albums, I don't know. So, This is another very important album to me. I thought this was Toby Mac's best album for the longest time, and I've put it in a second place position. All the good tracks are on it. Me Without You, which was a hit. Eye on It, Forgiveness with Lecrae. That was one of the first songs that I know I was exposed to Lecrae before, but one of my earliest memories of Lecrae was with that song Forgiveness. I remember actually rapping it at VBS to the kids, thinking I was, I don't know, cool or something, because I was like, what, 12 when this album came out? No, I was 11. So I think I was singing it and rapped it to like 4-year olds. I felt like a boss. Now looking back at that, I probably seemed like an idiot. And you know what? You know what's actually funny? Toby Mac did that a lot. Because which album was it? Portable Sounds, Lose My Soul. Kirk Franklin's part is like a kind of rap-ish part, and I remember getting into a rap battle with one of the employees at the store at Costco actually, because he heard me singing, and I was just like, "You a pimp hustler? Tell me what your title. America's got no more stars. Now we call them idols. You say idols while we talking prosperity." And I remember, man, as a child, the level of not caring about what people think of you. Nowadays, if I did that, I would probably die of embarrassment. Let's look at this track list. Me Without You, Steal My Show. Even songs that I don't like, or songs that I didn't like, I like. The only song that really doesn't hit it for me is Made For Me. And that's still a good song. So, yeah, it's basically a perfect album. Then finally, the album that I came to learn to love. If you've watched Loverboy Media, shout out Loverboy Media, his video on Batman vs. Superman, that is how I feel about this album. Basically, he explains how he absolutely hated the movie Batman vs. Superman, which I kind of immediately loved it, but that's another story for another time. But he came to learn, to understand, to love it, and that it was actually better than what we were giving it credit for. And the same thing with This Is Not a Test. First of all, I have to say the album art is pretty cool. You know, I just like that. It came out, I believe, when I was 14. I actually nowadays can say it has a pretty solid track list. I mean, look at that track list. Starts Like a Match, pretty catchy opener, Backseat Driver, great song. This Is Not a Test. It's okay. I prefer the Capital Kings remix, but it's still good enough. Light Shine Bright. Oh, Holland kills it. Till the Day I Die, the first song I heard with NF. Basically, Toby Mac is what popularized NF in the Christian community. So technically, we can thank Toby Mac for the explosion of NF in the Christian world. And then, 3 years later, NF would go on to destroy charts and be who he is now. So thank Toby Mac, please. I have a love-hate relationship with Feel It. It's a vibey song, but it's also really annoying how long it is. Move, great song. Love Broke Through, amazing song. Beyond Me, great melody. Love Feels Like. DC Talk Gets Together. How Can You Be Mad? And Undeniable's a great album closer. I just think that I gave it too much flack. Because, I mean, when you have an album like Eye on It Precede You, there's a lot of expectations. So I understand why it didn't do as good. And that was my Toby Mac CDs. I'm going to show 4 more CDs. And if you like this, if you just like hearing me talk about music or my CDs, more videos will come because trust me, I have more CDs. So just hit that like. Okay, next up we're going to look at another childhood favorite of mine, Royal Taylor. Oh my goodness. This guy is very famous in the Christian world now. Taryn Wells. I was heartbroken when Royal Taylor broke up because they made good music. I mean, look at this. Look at the Death of Me, amazing opening. Make a Move, fun story. In the music video for Make a Move, Torrin Wells wore a vest. And if you know me personally, I like to wear vests. Well, not now, but especially when I was around the age this came out. For many years following, and he kind of got me into wearing vests. Free Fall, Control, Gravity, Hold Me Together, Wannabe, Black and White, Run to Hope. Run to Love, Hope, Love is Here. So kind of the last track, I kind of don't know, but the rest of them, I adore. And I love how Royal Taylor's sound is so diverse. They do some rock, some hip-hop-ish elements, pop, alternative. They do it all. And I love also their albums, their album covers, their album art. It's great. CD's very plain. I also like the sleekness of the silver. Oh, this one popped out. When it pops right out, you gotta take advantage of that. I found out this is kind of exclusive to Christian CDs. I found this was exclusive where they give the lyrics, little lyric books. Because I still, in all my time buying albums, I've not found a secular album with the lyrics in it and then a thank you note at the end. I thought that was, for all albums, and came to find out that from my experience and what I've seen, maybe someone can let me know in the comments, that's exclusive to Christian albums. It's crazy. Next up, we got Royal Taylor's sophomore album. Their self-titled sophomore, which I never understood. So a self-titled album should be your first album, not your second, not your third, your first. The track list is interesting. It's not that they're bad songs. I just think in their first album, it was more like the songs are balanced. They're all on the same level of good, and then at the end it kind of declines. Whereas this one, it's like Jesus Love is good, Love Song is amazing, Ready, Set, Go is awesome, Remain is also awesome, and then you got songs like Got That Fire, which are okay, and Give Me Faith, which is forgettable. So, yeah. Very simple album artwork, but I don't know. I just feel like the other one is kind of, more iconic. Like, more recognizable to me. This one, the album artwork and stuff, it all feels very bland to me this time around. Like, the color pops out at you, but that's it. Did I put it away right? Also, love to see this small detail, that the other one was like a glossy gray, and this one's like a glossy black. Well, that's better. That should have been the album art. Capital Kings. Oh, boy. I was 12, and they just crashed onto the scene. Let's look at the track list. All the Way, We Belong Is One, You'll Never Be Alone, Living for the Other Side, I Feel So Alive, Ready for Home, Born to Love, Be There, Tell Me, I still can't say The Paradigm. This album is near perfect. No, it basically is perfect. Very memorable. I also like how this one, not a lot of albums do this, where the inside, where the back of like the little booklet and the back from where the CD is, it like matches and creates a full picture. You know what? I noticed that's the trend. All the good Christian groups, they break up. It sucks. It really sucks. The only Christian artist who hasn't stopped making music, or good music, that is Toby Mac. And not to be hating on Toby Mac, his music, especially with this album, the quality lowered. I love your music. I grew up with it, so I'm being painfully honest here. It's not at the quality it was. Scars, really good song, but the consistency of how good that whole album was is not at the level of his older albums. It's just not. It's like at a ratio of all 10 songs, it would be 5 out of 10 max, and that's being nice to it. Your pictures. Pretty bland and dry, just gold and then lyrics. And then I assume a thank you notice somewhere there. Last but not least for today, the sequel album. This was an album that, you know, it had big shoes to fill in, and it filled them successfully. I mean, man, just look at that art. I mean, I don't know about you, but that's sleek. I like it. I love it. You know, if you don't know what to name your album, just two. And the track list too. But when you look at it, after like awesome dubstep track, forever great, you know, pop slash EDM, which is their sound, and they fully accepted in this album. Into Your Arms, another great song. That was a radio hit, but it's a good radio hit. These were the guys who I was praying they always hit radio. Their songs were always entertaining on the radio. And honestly, I know there are people who, when they listen to music, they're looking for something else, but I never have been that way. When I'm listening to music, I'm looking for my ears to be happy. And if my ears are not happy, why am I listening to a song? Live for the Drop, another great dubstep track. Upgraded dubstep, satellite pop EDM. Northern Sky, one of the first songs I heard KB on, an amazing dubstep. Amazing rap by KB. If you have never heard KB's feature on this, I suggest immediately looking up Northern Sky, Capital Kings, and listening to the track. You will not regret it. Into the Wild. Oh, one of the best EDM dubstep tracks. Fire Blazing. Now, let me say this. I do not hate Chris Tomlin, but growing up, I resented his music. Maybe because I heard it too much, but I really didn't like Chris Tomlin's music. Like, really didn't. I found an appreciation for it now, but I still, even to this day, if I hear a Chris Tomlin song, I'm probably going to skip it. But this was one of the rare songs where I'm like, oh, Chris Tomlin's on that, turn it up. Chris Tomlin did eventually come out with one album that I thought was really good. But we won't get to that for a while. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. If you have cool CDs, tell me in the comments. See you next time.